Good afternoon on what is a bright, breezy, if cool afternoon. It is Sunday, October the 11th, and I am back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a pile of boxes to open and talk about. So, we have got this lot to look at. And the first one of these is this, okay, which is Michael Moorcock's Hawkmoon, Science and Sorcery in Earth's Far Future by Kerry Campbell Robson, published by Chaosium. Oh gosh, doesn't give a date on here, but I'll find it when I have a look inside. So, what we've got on here is the Eternal Champion. The Eternal Champion is a mystical hero who lives upon the planes of existence in all ages and times. Whenever the greatest need arises, the Eternal Champion awakens to ensure mankind's survival. His names are many: Elric, Corum, Ericos, Erlich, Hawkmoon, and a multitude of others. Into the thick of the fray he strides, heroic companions at his side. Dorian Hawkmoon, Duke of Cone, is an incarnation of the Eternal Champion and the sworn enemy of the foul Grand Breton Empire. His homeland was ravaged, his people were murdered, and the twisted scientists of Grand Breton sought to enslave Duke Dorian's mind, thus the jewel in the skull. Hawkmoon is an easily played game of fantasy role-playing, part of the Eternal Champion line of role-playing games available from Chaosium. The game players create imaginary characters who adventure together through a vision of Earth as it might be, where magic is real and heroes exist. The box contains everything you need to create and play such as adventures. So it's completely compatible with the companion game Stormbringer. Now I've done an unboxing of Stormbringer, and also a review of it. They comprise the Eternal Champion line of games available for Chaosium Inc. Characters created for one Eternal Champion game will function without flaw in any other game of the series. The strength of law and chaos on a plane might affect a character's magical ability. Demons take note. So what we've got in the box is Player's Book, the Earth, the Timeline, etc, etc, Science Book, Technology, and so on, Game Master Book, Reference Sheets, Map of Europe, 3 polyhedral dice, enough to play the game. It's 1986. So what's inside the box? Let's have a look. So first off, we have the traditional what's in this box, and an explanation of what's in the box. And this also includes, it gets carried over onto the next page, and we have essentially reference sheets. So we've got character sheets there as well. They have suffered a bit from the rust on the staples, which is always a problem with the older books. And we've got more sheets here, price lists, that sort of thing. Basically reference sheets for the referee and the players, weapons table, fumbles and combat. All useful stuff to have on the table. Chemical law, skill table, list of skills, attribute bonuses, and just references. And there's the you've got the character sheet itself, which should be kind of familiar. It looks very much like a classic character sheet from Chaosium, in terms of, it looks like a little bit like a Call of Cthulhu sheet. But then essentially they use the base. They do use the same core basic roleplay system. So underneath that, what it looks like, what we've actually, what it actually looks like in here, is actually we've got 2 copies of the game in this box. So if I just show you this, if I just show you that, let me just see there. There's sort of like where there should be only 3 books. There's actually 6 books, I believe. So there's actually, we'll go on to, let's do this properly. So the next book we have is the Player's Book. Okay, again, a box cover illustration by Frank Brunner, who also did illustrations for Stormbringer, and also really very good. And then we get into Welcome to the Tragic Learning of Earth, explains the background and the setting for Hawkmoon. There's the map of Tragic Europe. The cat's just gone running past at great speed. And here we come on to character generation. And that's fairly simple as I recall. And if you've played one of these games, they're all fairly similar in their kind of mechanics. This is very much like Stormbringer. It's very much predicated on where you come from to determine your base stats and some skills. But, here we go across to what's happened to Americ in the Tragic Millennium. So you can come from there as well. You're not just restricted to Europe. And we have occupations such as craftsman, farmer, hunter, mutant, noble, sailor, warrior, thief, and so on. Not dissimilar to Stormbringer, but again, what we've got here is, but you've got the addition of mutants here, and they've got a sample character, or sheet fully written up with an explanation of how the process was done there. And similarly, you've got like a major wounds table, and indication that the system is fairly deadly in its play. You don't want necessarily to rush into combat as unnecessarily, but the rules themselves are fairly simple. So that's the player's book. Then we have the science book, and this is much slimmer, more of a booklet, and this you've got a history of the Tragic Millennium and a chronology of events drawn from the Hawkmoon novels alongside it. So this takes you up to the year 5304. With basically, taking the champion of Garathom and the quest for Tainlorn, before we actually get on to technological devices of the Tragic Millennium, like acid cannon, cold cannon, cannons, mad god's amulet, the rune staff, and we have mutations. So essentially, this is a post-apocalyptic setting in a sense. So that's the science book, and we've got a guide to interdimensional travel, because that also is a feature of the fiction, and of course that will allow you to cross over with the other titles in the Eternal Champion line, of course, which is just Stormbringer. And then below that is the Game Master book, which discusses the setting and quickly goes into Heart of Bestiary, which doesn't look that dissimilar to the one found in basically Stormbringer, but the majority of the space is given over to major personalities of the Tragic Millennium Earth. So that includes Count Brass and Duke Dorian Hawkmoon von Kolm, Eternal Champion, as well as Baron Maladus of Croydon. We've got Scenario, the Twisted Village, which takes place, I believe, in Osterland, south of between Germania and Italia. So that's the first scenario. I've got the second scenario, the Chatillon Caverns. So that's sort of like a mini dungeon, complete deep inside it. You've actually got a complex of bunkers there, I'm presuming. So you've got two scenarios. Basically two scenarios in there, one longer than the other, which I think basically gives you plenty of scope and play. You probably get multiple sessions out of both scenarios there. And then lastly, in this box, what we have is the large map of Tragic Millennium Europe. Okay, it's very nice. So that's the Hawkmoon box set, sort of both of them, minus the one box. For this, as once again, I actually need to thank Paul Rickards for lending me these boxes to boxed games to unbox and show you. And I really appreciate him lending these to me, because it gives me a chance to actually do videos on them and show them to you, talk about them for 10 minutes or so. So thank you very much, Paul, and you'll have this back soon, I promise. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you posting those. I do take the time to read them. And if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where I will be, you'll see me out here with some parcels, okay, and a game or box set or something like that, which I can open up and talk about to the best of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all accompanied, of course, by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.